with the field of mechanics, which is the study of action of forces, both internal and external. Okay, in biomechanics, we analyze mechanical aspects of living organism. Right. So, if you want to put it into the applied perspective, you can say it is trying to apply mechanical principles, mechanical principles onto biological systems. Now, the key word here is trying to apply. It is not as straightforward as the name suggests. Let me give you an example why I say we try to apply mechanical principles onto biological systems. Now, if I were to say you all did your anatomy, okay, some will fail anatomy, okay, but fair enough, you did the anatomy. You know about the hinge joint. Okay, you know hinge joint. Now, where is the hinge joint? Can you tell me where's the hinge joint in the human body? Easy one.
Elbow.
Elbow, you have one. You have the knees. There's another one. Yeah, there's quite a lot in the human body. Now, the hinge joint in the human body, the elbow, if we take the example of the elbow, is the elbow, now in terms of mechanics, would you say that is a pure hinge joint? Now, if I were to ask you in your daily life, if I were to ask you can you point to me a hinge, what will you point to?
Door,
yes, door hinge. Door hinge is that is a mechanically correct hinge. Now, what's the difference between a door hinge and your elbow?
We are living beings.
Yeah, I will punch you lah. Of course lah, we are living beings. Every time I ask you different joint, also you're going to say we are living beings. Of course, it's different. In terms of the movement, what is the difference between an elbow joint and a hinge at the door in terms of the motion that is capable of?
Like maybe we can do some kind of rotation.
This is why we need physical classes, because now the screen is limited. I cannot see your elbow. Yes, you can do circumduction. Yeah, that's why you need to learn anatomy, so you learn all these words. Okay, so Marcel Masi is spinning her hand around. Okay, is whipping her hand around. Okay, so you can do more. You can do motion in more than one plane, even though it's a hinge joint. Now, technically, yes, you say the hinge joint, the elbow joint moves in one plane. But if you, again, I'll try to put it up in the in the camera if you can see this. So if you push your medial part of your elbow, you push it outside, can it give way? If you push, okay, so if I put it up this way, and then you push the medial part, and you hold your hand against the wall or something, and then you push this part, does it give in? Yes, it gives in. Okay, it is not locked in a single plane. Take your knees, for example, also a hinge joint. But can you spin your knee around? You know, you've seen some people do the warm-up, you know, they hold their knees and move them in a circular manner. Can you do that? Yes, obviously you can, because you did it when you were in primary school. But can you do it with a door hinge? No, you cannot do that with a door hinge. Okay, so that's why we try to apply mechanical principles onto biological systems. It is not 100% possible, but we try because it helps us to explain about motion and try to explain the causes of motion. Because if you take it at real world value, it's going to be very difficult to determine motion or explain motion. So we need to put some, what do you call this, boundaries. So we need to make a lot of assumptions. In biomechanics, we make a lot of assumptions. So we assume the elbow is a hinge joint. We assume the knee is a hinge joint. Then we can say, okay, this is the movement of the knee. It moves in a single plane. But we know, deep down, we know that this it is not entirely true. But it helps us to make a lot of explanations. Okay, so yeah, we try to apply mechanical principles onto biological systems. So we analyze, we correct, and improve. Now we're talking about sports biomechanics. Okay, in particular, sports biomechanics. We analyze, we correct, and improve technique. So it's walking technique, standing technique, sitting down, the way we sit down, the way we, if we go into sports in particular, the way we run, the way we jump, the way we throw. So we analyze those movements. We try to correct those movements. Usually, most of the time, is to do with making it as efficient as possible, as safe as possible. Reduce the injury risk from motion. One great example for biomechanics will be lifting objects. So the past probably 30 years, you probably heard about if you want to lift a heavy box from the floor, what do? Okay, let me call some people here. Let me get some people who are still sleeping. It's 8 o'clock class, so normally a lot of people sleep. Let me see if I can get some people sleeping. Let's see, where's the list? How do I see the whole list? Give me a second, yeah. Get the list out. Anyone know how to see the whole list instead of your pictures?
On the right hand side of the tab, you can see like it indicates 40 something others, and then you just click that.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I got part of it. Okay, hey guys, you gotta change your profile please from 25005086 student to putting your name please, so that I can call your name instead of call your number like some Terminator show. Okay, please change your profile names. If you have a profile picture, even better. So I call people with the name first. Alia Shuhada, are you still sleeping?
I'm here, Doctor.
You are here, well done. What was my question again just now? She forgot the question. Okay, so Alia, how would you give me an example of how you will use biomechanics in sports? And just now we were mentioning about lifting a box or heavy object from the floor. How do you lift a heavy object? This is not sports, huh?
I think I will bend my knees first, then just lift the everything.
So what's the difference between without the knowledge in mechanics? How would you lift it 30 years ago?
If I don't have the knowledge of biomechanics, I will just bend my back.
Yes. Okay. So why? Okay. Maybe I ask someone else now. Thank you. Aiman Husaini. Are you here? Aiman Husaini,
Yes, doctor.
are you sleeping or are you awake?
I'm awake.
Very good. Okay, so why won't you? Okay, The next people, whoever I call, please switch on your camera. Okay, I'm trying to put names to faces. All right, so whenever I call your name, you just switch on your camera. Okay, so Aiman, so if you, what's the issue with lifting using your back compared to squatting down and lifting the box?
Risk of back injuries.
Why is there a risk of back injuries? By bending down.
Because you put too much pressure on your back.
Pressure. What is pressure? Why is it? Why you use the word pressure, not load or force? Okay. Close enough. Okay, let's ask. Let's see who we have. Ignatius. Ignatius. Oh, wonderful name. Are you?
Doctor, morning.
Okay, well done. You're awake. All right. So, what's the issue if you use your back? And just now Aiman said that we might injure our back. Why is that so? Compared to lifting by squatting down.
The posture is different.
That one I also know lah. Posture different. I asking you technically, why do you think you might get injured by bending down instead of squatting down to lift?
You strain the back.
Why will you strain the back? Why won't you strain when you squat down? What's the difference between the back and the knees and the legs?
Because when you squat, when you carry up the item, you are using your lat muscle to carry the item.
Lat muscle lah. You don't use
quad muscle.
Yes. Please be a bit more technical. Okay, so if you say thigh muscle also I can understand, not lat one. Okay, so you are using your quadriceps. Okay, so what is the difference? Okay, thank you. Let's see who else. Johan.
Yes, doctor.
Sleeping?
I'm awake, doctor.
Awake, well done. Okay, so Johan, what's the difference between the thigh muscles and the back muscles? That causes the back muscles to be more at risk for injury.
They differ primarily in their location, primary functions, and fiber composition.
Okay, location, I assume, yeah, one is at the leg, one is at the back. Okay, location is different, I know that. Okay, so what is the difference? This is a pretty straightforward question without sitting for the biomechanics class. I'm just trying to explain that a lot of biomechanics things are, in biomechanics is common sense. Okay, so what is the difference between the quadricep muscles and the back muscles? You say fiber composition, okay, maybe. What is the more obvious one?
Sorry, sir, can you repeat again?
What is the obvious difference between the quadricep groups of muscle and the lower back muscles?
Quadriceps are 4 large muscles on the front thigh. And
Sorry?
lower back muscles, they are such as lumbar, multifidus, and erector spine.
Okay, that one, all the name. I know you are set for anatomy. Don't give me all the names. What is the obvious difference between the quadricep muscles and the lower back muscles that make it safer for us using our legs instead of our backs? Okay, anyone? What is the obvious one difference?
Location of the muscle.
I will punch you lah. Location, I also know lah. Location.
Sir, can I try?
The what?
Can I try?
Yeah, try. Yeah, no need to put up hand. Just try only, say something.
The quadricep muscle is connected to a joint, meanwhile back muscle is not connected to any joint.
Then back muscle what? Floating or what?
It doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the size. Who's that? Aiman. Yeah, it's the size. The size of the muscle. Quadriceps is a much bigger muscle, much stronger muscle. Okay, so that is the difference, and that is why you want to lift heavy objects. You want to use the biggest possible muscles, the one that can exert the most force. So therefore, it will be less trainers for the muscle. So you change your lifting angles so that you can use the biggest possible muscle. It's a common sense thing. Okay, so it applies to like throwing objects as well. You want to throw something fast. If you throw something that is light, you throw a tennis ball compared to you throw a bowling ball. Is there a difference in the way you throw a bowling ball and a tennis ball? Jolie Luang. You got some interesting names here.
Yes, Doctor.
Jolie, so yeah, would you throw the bowling ball and the basketball? So about the same size, basketball and bowling ball, and I tell you, okay, throw it as fast as possible for both. Will you throw it the same way?
No,
Why?
because bowling ball is heavier than basketball,
Therefore,
and the technique for bowling ball is different.
yeah, I know like different. You say different. What is the difference? Why is it different? One is heavier, okay, so therefore you will need
More force to throw the bowling ball.
force. More force means you need to recruit more muscles. All right, so you need to recruit more muscles. So therefore, to recruit more muscles, and you need to use bigger muscles. Basketball is lighter, so you can do an overhead throw or side arm throw because the ball is light. So you can use smaller muscle groups. Okay, so we don't need to use bigger muscle groups. So then you try to generate maximum speed. But in bowling ball, before you can even generate maximum speed, you need to be able to move the ball because the ball is so heavy. So it's two completely different techniques to move two different objects, even though it's the same size, but the mass is different. So how do you know this? How do you explain this? This is why you learn biomechanics, in particular sports biomechanics. Okay, so we are to do with technique most of the time. Okay, so most of the time we are to do with technique. We look into techniques, throwing technique, jumping techniques, running techniques, landing techniques. And the three major areas is we try to improve technique to get advantage. We try to correct techniques to reduce injuries, and we use this in teaching and learning of new skills. So from that, can you see the three different groups of people who might use biomechanics? Who will use biomechanics to improve techniques? So if you look at number one, you see improving techniques to get advantage. So probably a coach or the athlete themselves will want to know or learn about biomechanics to try to improve techniques so that they can win. Very simple objective, very simple drive. They want to win, so they learn about biomechanics so they can improve their techniques so they can get advantage. The same people, coach, athletes, and maybe even now for trainers, physios, sports medicine practitioners, they might want to learn about biomechanics so that they want to minimize risk of injury. So if you're a high-performing athlete, if you are injured, means you can't perform. Therefore, you cannot win. So you want to try to minimize risk of injury. So you want to make sure your technique is safe. Then you have the third group where this will be the junior coaches and teachers. They also need to learn about biomechanics because, like for example, lifting objects just now. If you have no knowledge in biomechanics, you will be just repeating what others have taught you or what you have seen on YouTube. So people say, no, you have to lift, you have to use your legs to lift, your glutes to lift, your quads to lift a box, heavy box. You shouldn't use your lower back. But if a student asks you, teacher, why can't I lift using my lower back? If you have no knowledge in biomechanics, you will not be able to explain why. You only can give the instruction that you need to do this and this and this, but you cannot explain why it is done. So that's why biomechanics is also important when you want to teach and learn new skills. So biomechanics exists in a multitude of different areas. Now in sports science, or in US, they call it kinesiology. You have biomechanics there as well, sports biomechanics in particular. So because this is taken from Biomechanics McGraw-Hill book, biomechanics is very high up. Okay, it's at the top. But usually it's the same. It comes under the same umbrella. It's not higher level than any of the other factors of other components of sports science. Okay. Biomechanics also exists in sports medicine. As I mentioned just now, it's a big deal in sports medicine. And in medicine in general, it's a big shift in the past 15, 20 years because of cost of medicine and medical services is so expensive nowadays. There's a big shift where we are moving towards avoiding diseases, avoiding injuries, instead of trying to fix it. Okay, because fixing it costs a lot of money. I mean, it took us nearly 3,000 years before we realized this. Okay, since the first medicine knowledge that came out from the Arab world in like nearly 3,000 years ago, we have been going around trying to fix stuff. Okay, we try to understand the human body and we try to fix it. It's a disease, when something breaks, when something gets injured. But now, quite recently we have shifted towards, because it's so expensive, we shifted to, okay, let's try to not get sick. Let's try to not get injured. And therefore, now in sports medicine, biomechanics is very big. Okay, it's not about, trying, once you fall down, you break a bone and then how to make sure that the bone heals properly and all that stuff. Even better than that is just not falling down. Okay, if you improve your coordination, you improve your balance, then you don't fall down, then you don't break a bone, then there is no problem. So that's why now biomechanics is a big deal in sports medicine. Again, it goes very high up because this is taken from a biomechanics book. So areas within biomechanics, you have, it exists in sports, as I mentioned just now, to improve performance, to prevent injury, teaching learning of new skills. In orthopedic, under medicine, you have under orthopedic, this is where biomechanics plays the biggest role. Safe movements, improved devices, implants, prosthetics, surgery. So in UM, there are two biomechanics units with motion capture laboratories. One is in where you are studying in the faculty. We have our own motion capture system under the stadium. That is mostly about sports movement and performance. So we have another one which is in the biomedical engineering unit. That one deals mostly with prosthetics and devices related to health, not so much on sports. Okay, so under orthopedic we have same thing. We have gait, but mostly for the sick, for the injured, for the amputees and so on. So biomechanics also exists in ergonomics. Can anyone tell me what is ergonomics? Quickly, anyone?
A design that's most likely suitable for human comfort.
Yeah, so it's the interaction between the surrounding to the human ecosystem. Okay, so basically the human ecosystem, meaning that, for example, you're sitting on a table now, you're sitting on a chair. No, you're sitting on a chair in front of a table. So is your leg hanging on the chair? Is it hanging or is it touching the floor?
Touching the floor.
Touching the floor. Is it? Are you squatting down in the seat or are your thighs parallel to the floor?
Thighs parallel to the floor, and the comfort is just nice, and it's not too short.
Okay. But if you give this chair to a European 6 feet or 6'2", how will the chair be for him or her?
It will be somewhat like a half squat for him or her.
Okay, so therefore you can see that the chair that you are sitting on must have been designed for people in this part of the world. So somebody must have designed it in such a way that is comfortable for you. So that is ergonomics, study of the interaction between the human body and the environment. Like tables, chairs, kitchen sink. If you have kitchen sink or wash basin that is 2 inch lower than your comfort level, within a month you will have low back pain. If you are at the kitchen sink for 3 times a day, spend 10-15 minutes washing plates 3 times a day, okay? Within a month, you will get lower back issues by a sink that is 2 inch lower. That's how important ergonomics and biomechanics is. Okay, so if you go further in, you have biological tissue mechanics and also neuromuscular mechanics. Biological tissue mechanics is how, for example, you look into the deeper end of it. This is not sports biomechanics. This is what you can say molecular biomechanics or tissue mechanics, where they look into the filament, for example, how it slides over the actin myosin. So that also revolves around physics. It's a mechanical thing, okay? How the actin myosin rolls on top of each other, how to make it more efficient. And then you have the neuromuscular mechanics, how we control the muscles, okay? What makes the coordination of the muscles better, how we recruit more muscles to apply more force, for example. So those are under neuromuscular mechanics. So we don't really cover neuromuscular. We cover a bit, not so much. Biological tissue mechanics we don't cover, not under sports biomechanics. Okay, so how can biomechanics help? We have technique analysis, as I mentioned. So everything to do with the technique, and everything is to do with the movement. Okay, so we analyze techniques. Nowadays we have from your phone cameras, you have high resolution videos. We have slow-mo videos. We don't need, last time, not too far back, about 15 years ago, I still have some of those cameras in the lab. We have this, what do you call that? Camcorders. Not sure if your generation maybe have not heard of it or seen it. Okay, when we go to the lab, I'll show you some. Okay, so camcorders with tapes inside, small mini tapes. So those camcorders were going for about 6,000 or 7,000 ringgit. Just to record video at a higher than normal speed. So our normal video speed is about 60, either 30 or 60 pictures per second. So those video cameras can capture at about 240 pictures per second. Nowadays, you have phone cameras that can capture up to 960 pictures per second. There was a Samsung phone, can't remember which one, S22 maybe? Okay, that were able to capture at 960 pictures per second. Your phones now, most of your phones now can capture at 240. You can see the slow-mo function. They capture 240 frames per second, pictures per second. Your standard phone. You don't have to buy a 7,000 ringgit camcorder. So that's how technology has changed. So there's really no reason no reason to not use technology for movement analysis. So if you are a coach and you have some knowledge in biomechanics, you should be able to do basic analysis. You shouldn't say, I must send this person to a biomechanics to do further analysis. No. Your technology is literally in your hand. Okay, so we have even apps that can help you analyze this. Track stuff. They can track if you, for example, doing a snatch or a deadlift. They can track the bar. You put the phone in the sagittal plane, they can track the bar, you can see the path of the bar. There's an app for that. Okay, so technology is there. It's whether you want to use it or not. So biomechanics, we help in terms of the technique analysis. We use video, we do 3D motion capture, like this one you have to do in the lab. Force platform analysis, we look at how we interact with the surface, how much force we apply onto the surface and so on, how much force we get back in return. EMG, this is electromyogram. This one I'll probably introduce you at the end of the semester. This one looks at the signal between your nerves to the muscle. So if you recruit more muscles, obviously the signal that is picked up by the EMG will be bigger. So the EMG can help with helping to determine the timing of the firing of the muscles. Okay, so compare left and right, compare especially those in disease condition, those with cerebral palsy, those that have stroke. The issue is controlling those muscles. So EMG can pick this up and determine, okay, how far away, how far back is your contraction. Maybe your contraction is too late or maybe even too early. That's why you have trouble walking, for example. So that's EMG. Then we have technique modification. So if you are a biomechanist, out of 60 of you, maybe one will go on to become a biomechanist. It's not a very popular profession and not many posts as well for biomechanists. So biomechanists in Malaysia, sports biomechanists, maybe less than 10. That means they do full-time biomechanics, like me. Okay, yeah, maybe less than 10. So because sports teams, sports bodies, they don't require that many biomechanics, unlike exercise physiologists, for example, or game analysts. So game analysts, every team will want a game analyst. Not every team will want a biomechanist, or not every team will need a biomechanist. Okay, so you only usually see a biomechanist when there is an issue, okay, a problem, an injury, or a recurrent injury, and so on. So technique modification is one with the help of the coach. You reevaluate stuff. Maybe you want to avoid a recurring injury. Shin splint, for example, is very common. You have people coming in to the sports clinic, every 3 or 4 months with the same shin splint injury. So then you rest for 4 to 6 weeks. You ice it down, you rest, you strengthen, and then they start running again, and then they get injured again. So eventually you need to change the technique. So then they send to a biomechanist. So one of the key things that we say, okay, most of the time we say, okay, you gotta lean a bit more forward when you run so that you can use forefoot landing better instead of using your heels. And then we recommend a shoe change and try and see whether there's a change in the running style and so on. So that comes from technique analysis. Okay, so we modify the techniques after that. And then, of course, we have preventative measures. This is also where biomechanics, the sports biomechanics especially, can help. Like the changes of shoes. Now, running shoe obviously is a big deal. I'm giving a talk in April on the, super trainers, this carbon-plated shoes that can make you run faster. So that's a big deal now. Shoes that can dissipate more force when you land. Okay, huge industry. Then equipment, using different types of equipment. Hockey stick, for example. Hockey stick, you have different stiffness. The hockey stick, you have fiberglass sticks. You have fiberglass with 30% carbon. You have fiberglass with 50% carbon. Then you have 100% carbon hockey sticks. What is the difference? How does it, change in terms of performance? How does it change in terms of injury? So you use a stiffer stick. There'll be more vibration on the hands. How will that affect your hands over the long term? So those are things that biomechanists look into as well. Okay, and then running surface is a big deal as well. Now, pretty much when you run, you are running on hard surface, on tar, on concrete. Okay, so how does that affect your musculoskeletal structure over time? Okay, so we look into that as well. So most of the time, we go for correction of techniques. I mentioned, so we analyze technique, we improve techniques, we correct techniques. So biomechanics, sports biomechanics especially relate to that. Now, in terms of injury, if you look into injury and recurring injury, this is about the only way to ensure that you don't get injured again. Say if you are a swimmer, okay, and you have this shoulder bursa injury, inflammation of the bursa, and you rest, it goes away. You start by training, it comes again. You rest. Now, how often are you going to do that? You can't go on forever. So they might try putting steroids. Usually doesn't work that much. Then you change technique, the way you swing your arms. So, or the in shin sprints, the way you run. So this is about the only way to ensure that the same injury doesn't happen again. I'm not talking about getting hit by the ball or getting hit by the stick or the racket. Those are acute injuries. That one you cannot change much. That's one off. But the recurring injuries, you want to try to minimize. Right? So this is proper techniques, for example, is the only way to ensure that that person doesn't come in again for the same injury. So proper techniques, you can divide into two stages. One is the developmental stages. That means having proper technique early on. So how do you get proper techniques from the start? Let's see. I'm sure some of you falling asleep now. Let's call some names out. Kohan, are you asleep?
No, doctor, I'm here.
Well done. Sometimes everybody is here, but they're asleep in front of the computer, so I need to check. Okay, so how do you get this? At the developmental level, how do you get proper techniques? How do you ensure proper technique?
By learning before teaching by like coaches or parents, by working.
Okay. Understand? So that means you learn first before you jump into doing anything. Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Easier said than done with kids, because kids, they see something they want to do straight away. But yeah, if you learn the technique properly from the start, then there will be a better chance that you get it correct. Okay, that's true. Okay, then we have Alif Arvin.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, very good. So far, 100% attendance. Everybody is online. Very good. Okay, so yeah, other than that, what other ways can you ensure that the technique is correct from the start?
Make sure the technique is.
How do you ensure the technique is correct from very young?
From very young, like in a self perspective or.
Either, whatever perspective can. Third party, first party, second party perspective can.
Maybe parents can help overlook them.
Okay, parents can help. Teachers can help. Parents can help. But before that, parents, teachers must have the knowledge.
Yes.
So they must have knowledge of the sports or knowledge in biomechanics or a combination of both, even better. Then you have the proper techniques. They learn the proper ways from the start. Now, the other one, to ensure that they are doing the things correctly, is what we call sports profiling. Now, sports profiling is basically talent identification, an extension of talent identification, where you profile certain kids and then you send them out to certain sports. So if you see a tall kid, what sport would you send them to?
Basketball.
Okay, Kuhong Manji. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, then only then.
Sorry, doctor.
Ah. What are you doing then? You going jogging or what?
No, doctor, I forgot. I put my name then.
What?
I forgot. I put my name then.
You forgot you put, what do you mean you forgot your name or you forgot you put
No,
your
no,
name?
username, doctor.
So what is your name then?
Muhammad Adin Darwisi, but you can call me Jang.
So I call you Jang, but you put then.
That's wrong. I use another account, doctor.
I will punch you, I tell you.
Sorry, doctor.
So
Yes, doctor.
but today you use then. Okay, so you forgot your then for today. You are like a spy, you know, a spy, 007.
Oh,
Got so many names. Okay, so if you are talented to play basketball, so if you are short and stout, then where should I send you to?
if I shot, doctor, maybe you can send me to football.
Oh, short, go play football.
Yes lah, doctor, shot.
Then how are you going to win all the headers all?
No, because maybe I cannot heading, doctor, but I can dribble.
So you want to be Maradona?
Yeah, what, sir?
You want to be Maradona and Messi, is it?
For Malaysia, we can see Fazal Halim, doctor.
Okay, ideally, even in football, you don't want short people. Ideally, I mean, of course, you have the outlier like Messi, you have the outlier like Maradona and Messi and all that. But most of the time, you want taller people so that they can also contribute during heading situations. But if you are short and stout, normally we send you to weightlifting, for example. So in weightlifting, you don't want tall people because you need to move the bar very far up against gravity. So that is profiling. Now profiling, what happens is if you profile properly, then the risk of injury will be less. The likelihood of success will be higher. So if you send a short person to play basketball, there are some short person playing basketball. There are some pretty good ones, the guards and whatever, short ones. They are successful. Fair enough. But Steph Curry has one. He's not so short, but shorter than the other people. There's another shorter one during Michael Jordan's time. I can't remember the name now. But yeah, there are outliers. But the chances of success for a short person in basketball is lower. The other one is that likelihood of injury is also higher. So if you play against people who are 6'2", 6'3", most of the time you'll be running around with your head upwards. Okay, your head will be always upwards, so there will be a lot more stress on the posterior group of muscles at your neck. So the likelihood of getting injured will be higher. You will need to jump higher to reach for anything against the taller people. So jumping higher will also increase the risk of injury because you will have to land from a higher place. So that's why you do profiling. It's not to say certain people cannot play certain sports, but the chances of getting injured will be lower. The chances of success will be higher. So you do profiling. Eastern European countries, before this, Eastern European countries like East Germany last time, Romania, the USSR, now no more in existence, but USSR. So they force people to go into certain sports so that they increase the likelihood of success. So that is at the developmental stage. Okay, then you have later stages. Later stages, how do you do this? You modify the sport. Modify the technique to fit the body. Not modify the sport, modify the technique to fit the body. Or you can modify the body to fit the sport. How do you modify the body? Let's see, who else is here? Hey, some of you haven't changed name. You think you don't change name, I won't call you. I will call you. 25006342, student. 25006342. Ayo. Straight away she went out lah. Or he went out. I called the number straight away, ran out only. Wow, like that also can. Hey, you all know this one, Google Meet, the module report at the end of the meet, I will see what time you log in. I will see what time you go out and how many times you log in and out also. Okay, then only I determine your attendance. Okay, so don't run away when I call a name. 25005160. Student. Who is this? 5160. Okay, 5160 sleeping in class. 5182. 5182? If you all know the name of these people, can you just call it up for me? I don't have the master list with me. 5182 is this? Okay, I'm gonna write down this number. You all not responding, I assume you don't attend the class, yeah? So I say it must be online classes. Yeah, you have to be around. No, don't log in and just second if I press. Okay, 5160 missing. 5182 is missing. 5240. 5240. 5240 missing.
Yes, doctor.
Change your name. Change your profile name so that I can call you by your name. What's your name? 5240.
Rennie.
Rennie.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, after this you change your profile name. The rest of you, please change your profile name. I don't want to see the numbers anymore. Okay, so Rennie, why or how do you modify the body to fit the sport? This is the later stages. Rennie? How would I actually modify the body to suit the sport? What can I do?
Training.
Training, yes, they do training. Okay, so they do training, they go to the gym. What do they do when they go to the gym? What happens when they go to the gym?
They can build up the muscle.
Muscle can be bigger, can be stronger. All right, well done. Thank you. So you go to the gym, you become stronger. Then you don't forget to change your name. Same goes with everybody else. Okay, otherwise next one I call all will be the numbers only. So you want not to be called or lower chance of being called, better change your numbers to a name. Okay, so you modify the body to fit the sport. This is later stages. Now you're the teenager. You are short. But you're playing basketball. So how do you modify so that you become better at basketball? You become more powerful. You go to the gym, you become stronger, you become more powerful so you can jump higher. You strengthen your neck muscles because you're looking up all the time. Also possible. Okay. The other one, now this is very much to do with biomechanics, modify the technique to fit the body. Okay, have you heard of Michael Johnson? Michael Johnson, not Michael Jackson, not Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael Johnson, sprinter. Beyond your time is probably before you were born. You can look up. Okay, you can type out in Google and see some videos of him running while I'm talking here. Okay, you can type on another window, type Michael Johnson, sprinter, and then see the video. Are you doing that now, guys and girls?
Yes.
Okay, good. See Michael Johnson, sprinter. Okay, what do you notice about his stature? His size?
Bigger than the other athletes.
Bigger? You mean more muscular?
Yeah.
Short or tall? You see him running against the other athletes. Is he short or tall?
And now we come to the
3982. Are you here?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Why you never change your name?
I already changed lah, but I don't know.
Huh? You also spy or what? Don't want to put your real name.
No.
What is your name?
Noiza Zulaika.
Okay, Noiza, you are present. Okay, that's good. Noiza, are you looking at the video of Michael Johnson?
No.
Why are you not looking? I asked everybody to look at open another window, go to Google and type and see the video. Okay, you do that now. I'll come back to you.
All right. Doctor,
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, the sprinter, right?
yes. Not Michael Jackson, Michael
Okay.
Johnson.
Okay, doctor.
4626, what is your name?
Atira.
Atira. Why haven't you changed
Yes. I don't know what's wrong with it. I will change it later again.
Okay, what do you notice about Michael Johnson, Atira?
He's tall.
Michael Johnson tall.
Wait.
Huh. Okay, maybe you're looking at different Michael Jordan, or maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, if you're looking at the correct video, Michael Johnson is a pretty short guy. For a sprinter, he's quite short. Who's the world record holder for sprinting? 100 meter and 200 meter, anyone?
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt. Does Michael Johnson look...
957.
Yeah, does Usain Bolt look like Michael Johnson? The body stature?
Usain Bolt more bigger, more taller.
Taller. So that is the world record holder. Most sprinters look like that.
Yeah.
Michael Johnson looks like a weightlifter. Okay, he has a leg-arm ratio, a shorter leg-arm ratio. That means the legs are quite short. The sprinters don't have that type of stature. So if you're a weightlifter, very good. If you're a weightlifter and your legs are short, you have an advantage. But not when you're a sprinter. But Michael Johnson was determined to become a sprinter, and he was a very good sprinter. He ended up a very good sprinter. He held the world record for 200 meter and 400 meter. 400 meter record stood for nearly 20 years, I think, for somebody who's short with short legs. Now what he did was that he changed the way sprinters normally run. He had a very short contact time because stride length very short. The legs are short. So every step he takes is shorter than the next person. So what he did was he had a very short contact time. Now, short contact time means he needs to be extremely powerful. You have to apply loads of force in a very short period of time because you want to get more flight time to cover the disadvantage of having short legs. So he was extremely powerful. You can see his muscles, extremely powerful, and he ran very upright. Okay, a lot of sprinters a bit of lean forward. He is very upright so that he can maximize his stride length. So he changed his technique to fit the body, to fit the sport. Sport requires maximum speed. His body was not designed for maximum speed, but he changed the technique so that he can, he can still perform at the highest level. Okay? So proper techniques can be very early on or at the later stages. But preferably it is early on. That means you teach the proper techniques from the start. And this is one of my favorite pictures. I have some very old pictures. This is the picture that I got from the first year I taught in the faculty. So that's what 24 years ago. What can you see from this picture? What do you notice from this picture? Okay, who else?
The racket is too big.
Racket is too big. Okay, no racket. Racket is standard size racket. 4779. 4779. You all better be aware of your own metric number. 4779. Are you here?
Yes, Doctor.
What is your name?
Farha Shazwina.
Are you a spy, Farah?
No, Doctor.
Not that you know of lah. Then why don't you put your name in the profile?
I already changed, Doctor.
But Google doesn't want to do it for you, is it?
Yes.
You need to refresh.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe later you go out and come in again.
Okay, Doctor.
And when you change, you can only use your full name. You cannot use like only one name.
Just now, then use other people's name.
Okay, Doctor.
I don't know. That's what happened for me just now.
That's why I said Dan is a spy. He has 3 names and today he used other people's name. Only 3 letters only. Okay, so yeah, Farah, what do you see in the picture?
Kids.
You see a kid? Okay, I also see a kid. Other than that, what do you notice in the picture? Something peculiar.
Playing tennis.
Playing tennis is not peculiar. I can see playing tennis, holding tennis racket, got tennis ball. What is peculiar other than that? There's not many things in the picture. Do you play tennis, Farah? Have you played tennis?
No, Doctor.
You haven't played tennis in your life?
No.
Okay, now sidetrack a bit. Now you all are all in the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Science. Okay, we are not a degree in physical education per se. So there is no specific classes on sports. That means you don't learn tennis, you don't learn hockey, and you don't learn all these things because we are not physical education. That being said, you should take the opportunity being in the university with all the facilities around you to learn as many sports as possible in the next 3 years. Because this is your field. You are in sports and exercise science. Whenever you a graduate that goes out and they ask you about tennis, you must, you are from sports and exercise science. Oh, you must know about tennis. Then Farah will say, no, I don't know about tennis. I only know pickleball. Cannot say like that, Farah. Okay, so everybody will need to learn about as many sports as possible. I also don't play tennis, but I know about tennis. I watch tennis. I don't play cricket, but I also watch cricket. I know about cricket. I know the techniques in cricket because I'm in this sports and exercise field. So this will be my strong suggestion. You have to do it on your own. We don't put it in our curriculum because we are not physical education. But like I said, if you are involved in this field, you have to know about all the sports. At the very least, maybe all the Olympic sports, at the very least. And the popular local sports like takraw, for example. At the very least, you must be able to know the rules of the game, some basic techniques of the game. Go and you have all the facilities in UM. Go and try it. We have 3 years to do this. Don't just go and play pickleball. Go play some other sports every week. Go with your friends. Make it a point. Otherwise, you graduate not knowing. Okay, when you go to the real world, you go. I have pain in my ankle when I run. What do you think it is? All these personal questions. Or if yesterday was the final of the US Open tennis, I said, oh, you're in sports, right? Yesterday, tennis. Djokovic lost the final. Why? You think why he lost? He's such a good player, he's a legend. Then first thing you don't even know who's Djokovic. Next thing you don't know that he's very old. So if you know he's a tennis player, one of the big four tennis players, win absolutely everything, you will know that he's very old, but he was good, but he's very old. You can say, oh, maybe because he's too old. Straight away you get the job. Because you're interviewing for maybe a position as a strength conditioning coach, maybe in a private school. Just by that answer, because you have knowledge in sports, not only in the books, but in real world sports, you get a job. I am not joking. Okay, before this we run interviews. You are the first batch second batch that we don't do interviews for intake. Normally when intake interview, those who sit in front of me, the students that sit in front of me, I'll ask sports questions all the time. Because you are coming into sport exercise science, I assume you will have some background. Okay, Farah, I'm not lecturing you, Farah. I'm lecturing everybody, Farah. Don't take to heart, okay?
Okay, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, applies to everybody. It applies to everyone. Not I'm just because she don't play tennis, then she cannot. Okay, so the peculiar thing about the picture is that the ball. You can see there's various sizes of ball, tennis balls. Why do you think there is different sizes in the ball?
To fit the athlete or the person doing the exercise.
To what? Sorry?
To compensate for the player's size.
No, not compensate lah. But I think I know what they're saying, but not compensate will be like Michael Johnson compensating for his short stride length. This one is a young person. They're not compensating. They're learning. Okay, learning. So 7134 is going to explain further. 7134. So far we have 5 people who are missing in action. When I call their numbers. 7134, are you online?
Derek.
7134, not online, so that's 6 people. Hey, what happened to your mic? Your mic not on? Somehow not working. Okay, you better fix it, okay? 7236.
Yes, Doctor, I'm here.
Okay, what's your name?
Tanjung Leok.
Tanjung Leong, are you a spy?
No.
No, why haven't you changed your name yet?
I changed it, but it doesn't show.
It doesn't show. Okay, maybe the next class it will show. All right. Okay. So why do the coach use different ball sizes in this picture? What's the big idea?
Maybe to show this is a kid.
To show this is a kid. From far I cannot see. Very small must be a kid already. What's the benefit of using a bigger ball in tennis, for example?
I can hit it easily.
You're getting there. Very good. Okay, so what is the objective? Okay, next person. We have Adliana. Adliana. Adliana.
Yes, Doctor.
Adliana, you sound like you're in underwater. Are you swimming, Adliana?
No,
Are you drinking?
no.
Okay. What is the objective for this kid coming to train tennis? What is the goal?
To learn better swinging, better hitting.
Right, to learn to hit the ball. What is the bigger goal? If you are the coach, this young kid coming in to play tennis, what is the bigger goal? Afika, you are Afika? You can join in together
To improve movement.
to improve movement. Bigger goal. A kid comes in, play tennis, a kid comes in. You are the tennis coach. A few kids, not one kid, maybe a few kids come in. What is your goal with all these kids? Afika? Afika Zara?
Yes, sir.
Are you a tennis coach?
No.
Okay, good. Then you can help me answer. Why? No, sorry, not why. What is the objective of all these kids? No, if you are a coach, what is your objective as a coach for these young kids?
To
To hit the ball. Wait, that's one small. Who's this? 7134. 7134. Just now I called you, never answer. Your mic still out. Okay, hit the ball is one small goal. What is a big goal? Aim. For a tennis coach. Who I was talking to? Afika, yes, Afika.
to build skills for the kids.
To build skills. Now, if you are a coach, what do you need as a coach? Let's call somebody. Adib, I call you. It's not Adib. I haven't called you. Adib Amran.
Yes, doctor.
Have I called you already?
Yes.
I called you just now.
Yes.
Oh, never mind lah. You answer second time lah. Okay, so if I'm the coach, what do I need for these kids to do?
Making the game easier.
Sorry?
Make the game easier.
Make the game easy. Okay, you are nearly there. Bigger goal lah. If I'm a tennis coach, doesn't matter. Tennis coach, squash coach, badminton coach. You are there if the kids are there. So what you need, your number one goal is to make sure these kids come back tomorrow and the day after and the week after and the month after. You're not making Olympians. That's not your main goal. If they become Olympian, good for you. But you are a tennis coach. If they don't come back tomorrow, you got no job. Correct? Who are you going to coach if no one comes to your court? So most important is that you need them to come back tomorrow, the day after, next week. So you're now inside your head, you need to realize, okay, how do I do that?
Make it enjoyable.
You got to make it fun. To make it fun, they have to be happy. At the end of the session, they need to be happy. So of course you can do a lot of coaches do a lot of games and plays and whatever. Okay, that's fine at the end. So keep them happy, especially at the end. But more importantly, the satisfaction that makes the happiness, the satisfaction from learning the skill. Now, if you come for a tennis training and you swing 100 times and you hit the ball 10 times, 90 times you miss, you're not going to be very satisfied. You're not going to be very happy. So you bring a bigger ball. So that, usually the problem with hitting is the timing, the coordination of timing. That's for the kids to time the racket movement to hit the ball when the ball is bouncing. Okay, at the correct height, at the correct place, at the correct spot. So it's very difficult to get this coordination going. So if you give a bigger ball, it makes it easier, makes targeting easier. Therefore, they get to hit the ball. At the end of the day, you get to hit the ball. It's a bigger ball, but this is not the Olympics. Nobody's going to care if it's a big ball or small ball. So they get to hit the ball now. Out of 100 times they hit the ball, they only miss 5 times. They hit 95 times. They go back very happy. The other thing is the technique part. If you use a small ball and they keep missing the hits, then what they will do, they will cheat. They won't have a proper backswing, because if you swing the racket from the back, it's very difficult to time it to hit the ball. But if you swing it from the nearer to the ball, so a smaller swing. So when you do a smaller swing, it's easier to hit, but the technique is wrong. So this is one thing. This is one main thing that happens with amateur players, especially in the backhand, that causes tennis elbow. So because when they do a backhand, obviously it's the reverse side of the forearm, the coordination is a bit more difficult. So to hit the ball on the backhand is a bit more difficult. So what they tend to do is not use their full arm in the swing. They will just use the elbow or elbow and wrist only. Because when you reduce the number of segments, the coordination becomes easier. So that's easier to hit the ball. But over time, if you play tennis often and you use this wrong technique, the elbow will have to dissipate so much force, vibration from the impact. And the elbow doesn't have loads of big muscles. The one that has big muscles is the shoulder. Okay, shoulder is surrounded by bigger muscles. They can dissipate more force. So then, what happens is that they have this wrong technique because they are trying to hit the ball instead of trying to get the proper technique. So if you use a big ball, then it's easier to hit the ball while having good technique. So yeah, it looks like a simple thing. Say when I started teaching, definitely we didn't have that in Malaysia. Nowadays, I see quite a lot more. Okay, I see quite a lot more. I see in tennis centers, there's always, if you're coaching kids, they either have different racket size or they have different ball size. Even in football also, there's various size of ball. For the younger one, they use a smaller ball, so it's easier for them, lighter for when they hit the ball. And also easier to maneuver the ball as well for the younger kids. So the objective is for them to come tomorrow. And nowadays, sports, okay, there's an ongoing battle, ongoing war, if you can see, in sports. We want to get kids to play more sports. Now, the number of kids that play sports and are active has been in decline for the past 10 years. People don't play sports. You look in schools. I'm sure you look at your high school, your primary school. The people that play the sport, play all the different sports are the same people. The person that runs in the athletic events is also the same person that plays in the football team. Also the same person that plays in the hockey team. So you get about maybe 40, 50 active people for the whole school. The rest don't play sports. Yeah.
So it's been declining for the past 10 years, eh?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Number of people that play sports in Malaysia. Okay, so number of people that play sports in Malaysia has been in decline, and it will continue to be in decline for foreseeable future unless we do something about it. So like coaching tennis, for example, if they're not happy, they don't come back tomorrow. Then what do they do tomorrow then? Aiman, Alif, and E. And with a big E.
Yes.
And are you there?
Yes.
Why your voice like you are sick or?
No, it is my normal original sounds like this.
Can you speak louder, please?
It is my original sounds.
This is your original voice?
Yes.
Oh, very raspy the voice. Very good. Can be a good singer. If they don't play tennis, what will they end up doing?
They were crying.
You definitely not spy lah. You might be a stand-up comic lah, comedian. Okay, no. They keep on missing the ball, but tomorrow they don't come for tennis. What will they be doing at home if they don't come for tennis tomorrow?
The kids are staying at home playing.
Yeah, what will they do at home? This is a big problem, no? They will play e-games. And this is the screen, okay, screen and screen time and e-games are the two main things that have taken away people or kids from sports. Anyone here who is into esports? Anyone esports? I mean, like play, not play for fun. I also play for fun, but esports as in make a living from esports. Nobody. Okay, then very good, because I hate esports. I tell you upfront, I hate it. I don't hate video games, but I hate when they term it esport and try to place esport as one of the sports. You know, have it in SEA Games and Asian Games. Oh man, that is absolutely wrong. And I can't imagine how long more it takes before these governments actually pick this up. It is detrimental to health. Okay, it shouldn't be called esport. I mean, I play video games from very young, but not as a replacement for physical sports, physical activities. Now, this is a problem. When you label it esport, you put it under the KBS as a sport, then people get misaligned. And this is a big issue. Huge number. Now, e-sport, the e-game, I don't call it e-sport, I call it electronic games. It's a big issue. Especially in Malaysia, it's huge. We are very good with these games. One of the best in the world. But that's a bad part of it. More and more people, more and more kids are getting hooked on it. Now, because it's very comfortable to sit in front of a computer and play this so-called sport. The danger of it is that to be better in electronic games, you have to spend more time in front of the computer, which is the opposite of being physically active. You want to be, you can earn a living. Yes, you can earn a living. But to earn a living, you need to be really good. So to be really good, you need to spend more time, 3-4 hours in front of the computer. Means you are becoming more sedentary. The opposite of being healthy. And all sports, all physical sports have this same problem. So if a kid comes Now, usually the kid comes because they are forced by their parents to come to tennis, to come badminton, to come for hockey. They are forced. You can see them. I'm a hockey coach. Last time I used to coach at the elite level. Now floorball still at the elite level. But for hockey now, I do developmental level, school children. You can see in their faces that they don't want to be there. So your job now is not about only teaching skills, about teaching the techniques. That's just the easy part of the job. At least half of you will go out to become coaches or trainers, at least. So there's at least 30 people here that will go out to become trainers. And you have to realize this now, by the time you graduate, it'll be even worse. Because now this so-called e-sport is already in SEA Games, Asian Games, they get more money than most sports. From the government. Government is supporting this. They can't see this. Government is blinded by the popularity. So now, you're going to have a bigger problem than me. So your job now is not only about coaching, giving the skill, but you need to make it interesting and fun so that they come back tomorrow. Otherwise, you won't have a job. And this is very difficult. You can see in their faces, they don't want to be there. They'll be rather at home in air-conditioned rooms in front of the computer playing games. So it'll be more and more difficult. Every year it becomes more difficult. Every year you see less and less people. Now I coach hockey. Every year there's less and less people coming for the training. New people coming in, very, very few. When the first year, 11 years ago, I started coaching the school, we had up to 70, 80 people coming for hockey training. Now we are lucky if we can get 30 over an 11-year span. Now this is not some research publication or whatever. This is real life. The same school, 11 years, the drop is half. And you would, by the time you are coach, maybe you'll be lucky you can send a team for a hockey tournament. Okay, so this is a real world problem. Unfortunately, you will have to face this. So this ball, different size ball in this picture, cannot be more important than it is today. Not only about the learning of the proper techniques, but more about getting them to be involved, getting them to have fun so that they come back tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, in all my classes, you will sit, I think, with me at least three or four classes. I will always tell you stories, and this is why you must come for the class. The notes are there. You don't want to come for the class, you will still pass the paper likely. But for me, you will be less knowledgeable. What I can give you as a lecturer for this class, for all the other classes that I teach, is that I can give you my experience, past experience in teaching, 24 years as a coach, probably 33 years coaching, from national team hockey to SEA Games in floorball. I'll be going to my 5th SEA Games in floorball next year. Coach schools, coach state level, coach SUKMA, won the SUKMA, won different medals as a player, as a coach. Something that you cannot read from books. I also owned a gym before this, own t-shirt supplier, what do you call that? Manufacturing plant as well. So a whole bunch of, this is something that I would say that you should try to get the most benefit from me. Okay, by coming for class. Okay, if you just want to pass the paper, you don't have to come for class. I really don't care. Seriously. I take the attendance. You know why I take attendance? I'm not going to say, if you don't come 80% of the class, I will buy you from the exam. No. But what I will do is that during the exam, when I mark, and then you say, for example, you fail a paper, even by 2 or 3 points, and then when re-examine the paper, or they ask whether should we help this student, and I say, I look at the attendance, 5160, 5182, 5240, they didn't come for the class. Then I say, okay, these people, no, I don't want to help to pass. No, I just leave the scores as it is. So that might be the case. Okay. So yeah, come for class, learn as much as possible. Try to extract as much knowledge from me, not from the notes. The notes are easy. You can just 1 week before exam and you can still get through the exams and score. Okay. All right. So yeah, back to the picture. This is why we have this. Other than tennis, we also have hockey, for example. In hockey, if you look at in schools, I'm sure you have been in primary school. Hopefully you have held a hockey stick in primary school, the school hockey stick. The school hockey sticks, all the school hockey sticks come in 36.5 inches. They buy in bulk. Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia buy in bulk. 36.5. So you might be a standard 3 boy or girl trying to play hockey, and the stick will probably reach your neck. And then the teacher is trying to teach you a skill, say for example, dribbling or hitting the ball, but the stick is around your neck. So how would you acquire that skill? The equipment is just wrong. Okay, so trying to make something fun, trying to acquire a proper technique requires proper equipment. Okay, so this is an example I'm showing to you, and how important technique is right from the very young. That technique will stick with you. If your backhand is wrong in tennis, it will stick with you throughout your career. You might adjust it a bit later on, but pretty much stays with you for a very long time. So that's why at the start it's very, very important. Okay? What we at now? 10 o'clock. How are you holding up? Are you tired? Guys, are you tired? Who's that? Aliana? Was it Aliana?
Yes.
Yes, you are very tired. Were you giving the lecture or you listening to the lecture?
Listening to the lecture. And I'm very tired listening to it.
You're tired of listening to me? Okay, fair enough. That's good enough for first class. Okay. I hope you have some introduction to biomechanics. Why biomechanics is important in sports. It is one of the branches in sports science and sports exercise science. One of the main branches. Other than you have exercise physiology, you have sports psychology, whole bunch of motor control development, and then injury and rehab. So you have a whole bunch of it, and biomechanics is one core part of it. And I hope that after today's class, you understand how important it is. Well, basically, you don't have choice. You don't have a choice. You can't say I don't want to take biomechanics. You already sign up for the program. You can't choose the course. This course you cannot, so it's compulsory. So you have to sit through it, try to do your best, learn as much as possible. I will try to make it as interesting as possible throughout the semester. Bear with me, okay? I will tell you lots of stories. So sometimes I don't even finish the notes. The notes are there for you to read, no problem. You have YouTube, you have what do you call that? Gemini, ChatGPT. They can teach you a whole bunch of theoretical stuff, no problem. So don't worry about that. So I will teach you about life stories. So yeah, indulge me with these stories. I like to tell stories. I like to impart as much knowledge as possible to the students, and I hope you enjoy the classes. All right. So I think we stop here. No point doing online classes more than 2 hours. It just doesn't work. Okay, you are probably tired of looking at me, and tired of listening to me as well. Okay, for attendance, okay, who was my class rep just now? I know Marcy was one. The other one was
Junyang.
Where's Junyang? Is this here? Why is this not in my list now? Are you online?
Yes, doctor.
Where are you? I don't. Okay, I see your face. Okay. I gotta see in the list, sorry. Okay, can one of you just snap a picture with the full screen? I just stop sharing first. Okay, or snap a picture of the list is fine also. Okay, but I will have the Google data log as well, so I can see from there. Yeah, just for your records, you just It's the picture of the list here on the right. Okay, while Junyang does that, anyone has any questions? Any questions?
No.
No questions. For your final, I would like to do what you call that exam. Would you all do exam last semester?
Yes, we did 3.
3 exams. Okay. Yeah, I would. It's a more consistent measure of your level when we do exams. Okay. Then other than summative assignments, I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, especially now with AI capabilities. Yeah, summative assessment, I'm not big a fan. So yeah, we'll probably do exams, 40% exams, and then 60% will be continuous assessment. Out of the 60, you will have one test, probably in week 8 or 9, okay, or nearer towards the end of the. I like to use the test as a preparation for your final exam. Okay, and I don't normally do it in the middle. I really normally do it near the end of the semester. Okay, so then you also have assignments. All the assignments will be group assignments. You have 60 people, so I would think maybe 3 to a group. Okay, yeah, let me decide on that this coming week. And then I'll discuss with Junyang and Marcy. Okay? Okay, Junyang and Marcy, can you just stay back for a while? The rest of you, if there's no questions, I will see you guys next week. As next week will be closer to Raya, I'm pretty sure everybody wants to do it online. So I won't even ask the question. Okay? Yeah, so we will do it online again for next week. Okay, so if there's no questions, I'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Bye.